is Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is internationally syndicated solely due to the love and support that you all continue to give. We're available across all major distributors, and as long as you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in, because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Kristina Ahlnäs. Now we're going to be discussing her incredible memoir, Kristina's Cache, a memoir of adventure and survival in Alaska. It's Amazon, Barnes & Noble, it's a lot of other places, man, but most importantly, check out Kristina'sCache.com. And I quickly want to point out the fact that Kristina was brought to us by Citi of Books. So for writers out there listening in, if you've gone through your process and now you need some assistance moving that book you just developed, look no further than Citi of Books. Head on over to citiofbooks.com and gather all of the ways that their fantastic team is well equipped to move your creative endeavors. And listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Kristina here on the line. People, sit back, man. Close your eyes. I want you to picture something for me, okay? Picture this. It's so cold, your car won't start. Okay. Your first home is an 8x8-foot practice cabin that you built yourself, and the only way you can access it is by a 16-foot ladder. All right, now you're picturing all of that, right? This is not a survival simulation. This was actually just a regular Tuesday for our guest, Kristina. Okay, this is something, man. If we didn't have her here on the line to discuss it, you wouldn't believe it. You'd be looking at me and you're like, Benji, I hear what you're saying, brother, but this is not true. This is not a situation that any person would find themselves in. Nah. Kristina, she lavished in it, man. This is something she chose, she wanted, and she built from the ground up. This is a remarkable memoir of one person's, like it says in the title, adventure and survival in Alaska. I'm telling you, sit back and strap in, man. It is going to be a wild adventure for you into the great wilderness. And it's something that I think is going to teach you a lot about the perseverance of the human spirit. Just sit back and listen up. Okay, let's dive in. Kristina, first and foremost, man, welcome to the network. And let's start off at the ground floor. Take us back to the beginning. How did you even embark upon this journey to start?
I was working for the University of Alaska in Fairbanks, and I rented a duplex trailer. Then the pipeline construction started. People were pouring in. I got pipeline neighbors who spent all night singing and drinking, waiting to get employed. And then the pipes froze and their sewage ended up in my bathtub. That was it. There was nothing else that could be rented. So I saw an ad for property that was for sale, and I went to the company, put my $100 on the table and said, this is my down payment. I want it. And I got it, and I bought a tent, moved into my tent, and then I started to build my practice house. And I had just happened to take a class in log cabin construction before that, just for my general education. I had no intention to build a cabin, but it so happened.
Well, listen, let's experience more. Tell us about this life. I mean, describe the life, the day-to-day experience inside this cache.
Okay, well, the 16-foot ladder was my concern about wild animals. So I thought they would not get me. And then an 8x8-foot house, there was no reason to have a big door. So I decided to put my bed high. So I crawled in under the bed to the cabin, because that's where, and the bed is above the door, and then I just had my camping stove. I had my camping stove, and I also had a small wood burning stove that I cooked on and heated the place with.
So I'm curious not only about that 16-foot ladder, which that in and of itself, my goodness. Okay, people, can you imagine not only the 16-foot ladder, but other extreme, almost maybe life-threatening events? Talk to us a little bit more. First of all, did you ever fall off the ladder? And tell us about some other events that you experienced.
Well, the ladder, I didn't know how close you put the steps. So I thought, well, a foot, well, that looks too close. So I put them further apart. And then one winter, it was cold. I had a big container with clothing, and I was going to go and do my laundry. So I'm coming down the ladder with one arm around this big barrel of laundry and only holding on to with the other hand. And I had 2 pairs of mittens inside leather gloves. So I slipped, my feet slipped, and I just fell off the ladder. The back of my head hit ground. After that, I didn't know anything. Fortunately, there was snow on the ground. Then I wake up, I'm laying face down, and I am a little bit concerned, did I break anything? But no, I didn't. My Volkswagen Bug was warm because I had started it in time. And so then I just drove off to do my laundry and went to a ladies' room and checked my damages. And yes, there were a few blue marks.
Oh, my. Whew, Kristina, you are courageous, girl. And I love it, man. Were you ever scared being in this environment?
Well, when I first lived in the tent, and in Alaska, in the summer, it doesn't get dark. So I have an 8 by 10 foot big tent because it has all my it has a big container also with my belongings. And I'm sleeping at the back end of the tent, and someone breathes. I'm laying down inside a sleeping bag, and someone is breathing on the other side of the tent. I am somewhat concerned, who is that? But my tent is so well closed, so I did not want to. It would have been difficult to get up and get that tent door open because it was closed so that the mosquitoes wouldn't get in. But it was, I don't know, but it was some kind of an animal, of course. And there are no dogs in the neighborhood, so it was not a dog.
My goodness,
it was a curious animal.
Whew. Okay, a curious animal, and of course, now that we're past it, looking back, we can have a little chuckle. In the moment, I'm just speaking for myself, Kristina. I would have lost it. I don't know if I would have been able to handle it. And people, here's the positive part of all this. You can experience it without ever actually being in the environment where you're in this threatening position. All you got to do is head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kristina'sCash.com. Pick up your copies today, man, and just get lost in this amazing adventure. My follow-up now, Kristina, so we've heard about certain experiences that you've had. We've heard about why you even embarked upon this journey to begin with. I'm curious now from a writing perspective, when it came to comprising this book, what was that journey like? How did you choose which parts to include in the memoir and which parts to leave off?
I had previously, after moving to Alaska, I came from Finland, so I sent an article to a national distribution newspaper in Finland, and they published it. And then I kept sending, and I knew people read what I wrote. So I later, decided to publish a book, and I did it in Swedish. Swedish is my first language, and so it was published in Swedish. And then later, when my American friends said that we would like to read the book, so then I decided to rewrite the book in English because you don't translate. You express yourself differently in different languages.
Yeah. Transitioning here, Kristina, as we start to close out, I think, listen, on the surface, your memoir is remarkably entertaining. right? So compelling. It showcases your journey, and we're able to travel alongside you. As I mentioned at the top, and I really do believe this, I think if we go deeper, if we read in between the lines that have been written, there is a lot of notions here that can be taken and implemented into our lives, and we can grow through it, right? And one of the most obvious, and I think one of the more powerful ones that come out is this 8x8 practice cabin. It's such a powerful concept. Aside from the literal confinement that you found yourself in, there's something that you, of course, had to go through to make sure that, listen, an 8x8 home is not something that many people have to deal with, especially here in America. Let's call a spade here, people. We have more than we know what to do with. We have more space than we need. We have more food. The list goes on and on. But for you to transport your entire life, your entire existence into this 8x8 cabin, what it, I'm sure, must have forced you to do was to really eliminate a lot of excess, to really get down to brass tacks, to really make sure that you're pinpointing exactly what you need. Now, again, there's the reality of that for you, but then there's also the learning concept. There's the educational notion that one could take from that. So now let's pay it forward as a question for you. What do you think this practice cabin showed you about the necessity of life, things that are important, and what is the message that you think others can gain from that?
Well, here, doing something you have never done before. I mean, you're optimistic. I did not realize it could. I thought I could do it pretty fast.
Yeah.
So actually, I lived in my tent until the whole summer until it was getting pretty cold while I'm still working on finishing the cache. So it's when I finally got the roofing on, I moved into the cache. So the cache is the 8x8 foot. I was only going to live there until I built my big cabin, which I then was going to build during the rest of the summer. But here I'm still living, it takes me all summer even to move into the cache. So then I end up living there while I build the cabin. And that took another 4 years before I could actually move into my cabin.
Well, listen, I think the logical closing question here, Kristina, is as we leave your cache and we return to our own worlds, what's one thing that you hope someone takes from your story and applies to their own life, whether they're in a New York City apartment or they're dreaming of their own frontier? What do you want them to take?
Well, if you really want something, there's always, nothing is impossible. I did a lot of praying, and if you really want something, there is a way around, what seems impossible. Just find a way how to do it, and don't make impossible stop you. There's a way around it. And then whatever you want to do, chances are it will take a lot longer than you expect.
Kristina, don't I know it, man? Nothing ever goes according to plan exactly, right? You always got to prepare for those potholes, for those bumps in the road. I love it. Listen, Kristina, this has been a wonderful discussion, not only to hear about your experience, but also, as I've mentioned, I look at your book as a prism to a new lens, right? It really does, or can, let's not say does, because of course it's left up to the individual. And that's why I'm thoroughly impressing this upon all of you. This book has the ability to help you shift your lens, to see, let's just say from a literal standpoint, to see the cold not as a threat, but actually as a teacher. And that, I think, is a phenomenal concept that can be reapplied to so many. Like the ladder, for instance. It's the realistic circumstance to this is it's a 16-foot ladder that she had to physically climb every single day. But the notion is there is a ladder in all of our lives that can be used as a metaphor. And when we're climbing that ladder to reach and to ascend to new heights, it takes work. It takes overcoming and persevering through fear. And I think that's why this book is such an important addition to your shelf. You gotta head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kristina'sCash.com. Pick up your copies today. Kristina, thank you for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you for having me, and all the best to you.